Hi, everybody. This is GM John Fedorowicz. Welcome to my March SimulMaster Simul, and we'll get started shortly. Um, I've been following the candidates. It's a lot of fun. I'm rooting. Well, in the beginning, I was rooting for Hikaru Nakamura because I've known him since I was a kid. Also, I'm rooting for Fabiano, and Fabiano Caruana has a chance. It's a top level chess. It's always good to watch. The nature of this tournament made it in the beginning look like people were playing too solidly and there were lots of draws. But in the past few rounds, there's been some serious fighting and lots of decisive games. So have a good time in the simul and enjoy the last two rounds of the ICC coverage of the candidates tournament, and we'll see. I noticed that Fabiano has black against Koryakin in the last round. That could be a very interesting situation, and Anand having lost to both Koryakin and Fabiano would seem to. I think he needs a miracle now. He'd have to win two in a row and hope for a lot to happen. So we'll see. It by the looks of things, it looks like we might have a new challenger this time, and the way it looks is Koryakin's got the leg up on the tie breaks, and I don't know. I was ranting and raving the other day when I did the show with Spielman, the recap show, and I was ranting and raving that I thought having tie breaks for such a thing was terrible, and I thought a couple of years ago when the situation with Kramnik occurred. You had the situation when Kramnik had black against Ivan Chuck and didn't know what to do. So, and eventually Kramnik tried to beat Ivan Chuck with black by playing weird stuff. It backfired. He lost pretty easily, and that was that. And that's how we got Carlson. And I don't understand why they just can't play some games. It's better to decide stuff by chess. I think everybody would agree, except somehow FIDE doesn't agree, which is kind of dumb if you're asking me, but that's the way it goes. All right, so I think I'm doing D4 in every game, looks like. And we have some regulars and we have some new people, so welcome to the new people. And I talk about the games and talk about current events. My friend GM Nick DeFermian is in Norway playing in the GM tournament there. Hi, back rank brawler. Welcome to the simul. I think he's here for the first time. So welcome to the ICC SimulMaster simul. So I play D4 in all the games. Next month I'll play black again. I think one of my best simuls I played with black, which is a little unusual. And you could tell sometimes people have trouble with black. If you notice, two of the favorites, I thought Nakamura was playing the best going into the candidates. And and he had trouble with black here, and Anand's having trouble with black also, as you could tell. And it's just a wrong time to have trouble with black. And I felt bad for Hikaru because I definitely was rooting for him. His stepfather is my boss, so I think that it would be a good thing if I rooted for him. So, all right, let's get this Simon. Now, what is this? A4 H5 has done D4 Knight F6 C4 B5. I think I must take that. And then I'll see if he goes A6, kind of a weird looking Benko gambit. Semberk looks like from Turkey. Great country. Was there 3 or 4 times. Always had a good time. Like it there a lot. Dodgy, we're in a Budapest. Queen's Indian from Biscuits. And I always do the A3 a lot. More than a game, Albin counter gambit. Chess 24, we played a lot, and we're always getting King's Indians, and we've had some real serious, violent games. And Pearl Hacker has played before White in a BOGO. Muhit, another A3 Queen's Indian. That's called the Petrosian variation. Cookies and cream, a weird mixture. D4, F5 up. Somebody just joined the simul in the middle of that. Quampin. And back to cookies and cream. D4, F5, Knight F3, Knight F6, G3, E6, Bishop G2, C5. Huh. So mixing kind of like a Benoni and a Dutch. I don't know. It seems a little anti-positional to me. So I'll see if I can take advantage of that in anti-positional nature in a while. I'm just going to cancel there, and we'll see how that one turns out. Okay, A4 H5 has replied A6. So peculiar Benko gambit with no C5. So we got to see what to do there. I don't think I'm going to take it. Um, I think now I should play maybe E3 could be a good way to keep the pawn. Pawn takes pawn, bishop takes pawn could be compensation, or maybe pawn takes pawn, bishop takes pawn. I fianchetto on the king side and try and play for E4 later. Looks like it could be something to do also. So that's pretty interesting there. So let's see which one should I do? And usually I don't take pawns. I'm like I'm a big anti-gambiter. Um, when I was playing the Benko, I liked playing the Benko and giving up the pawns, but then I didn't really like to take the pawn, and I don't know why. I think it was some nightmares playing at the Westfield Chess Club in New Jersey against my friends when I was really not a D4 player, experimented with D4, trying to play D4 to see what kind of positions we can get. So it's sort of interesting to see what to do there, and so it's a couple of things. I could also maybe give up the pawn and just try for a center. It could be a reasonable thing to do there too. So I'm spending a lot of time on this, and I think I'm just going to play. Let's see if I go pawn takes pawn, and then I think I'm going to go pawn takes pawn, and if he goes bishop, then I go knight c3. Can he transpose into a Benko? Would be a good question for him. So I think I'm going to try pawn takes pawn there and be up a pawn and see what happens. Okay, Sembek, I'm going to try a Samish King's Indian. Jester, another Slav. Pearl Hacker, Queen E7 in the Bogo. Muhit, we're in the early stages of A3 Queen's Indian. And in Abbas Child, Queen A4 check is something that I do that gets into the Catalan type of positions. And let's see with Cookies and Cream. And now I'll play C4 against Cookies and Cream. And I still feel like that's an anti-positional position. And I think I'm pretty happy to get into that there. All right, chess 24. Boy, we've had a lot of these King's Indians, so I might try a different one today. And we'll see how that goes. Okay, Sembek, we're in the Samish. Knight C6 from Pearl Hacker. And A4, A5 played bishop takes A6, as I figured. And now that's a strange pawn sacrifice. And I think I'm just going to go knight F3 and develop myself. And I think what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try not to get into a Benko gambit because that would be the right way to try and take advantage of his move order. All right, Dodgy, we're in the early stages of a Budapest gambit. Abbas Child. And now we got more than a game is the Alban counter gambit. I think in chess, as you could tell from the candidates matches and any other tournament, it's very important to have your openings of black in good shape. And Anand and Nakamura, like I said a few minutes ago, have really run into big trouble in this tournament with these openings. Okay, Cookies and Cream, Bishop C5. Now, can I take advantage of this move? Looking, I don't know, Knight C6 gives them a big center. That doesn't make sense. I think maybe I should try Knight to B3 and take advantage of that after that. Okay, more than a game in the Alban counter gambit. White always fianchettos. I know on E3 there's some sort of tricks that occur there. Let's see, against back brawler, I'll go for an exchange variation. Pearl Hacker castled. I think that move order might be a little inaccurate. I know bishop takes D2 and instead of castles forces white to play knight takes D2, and then white's knight is in a little more passive post on D2. So already I think I'm already in, a little happier than usual there. Okay, coming out fast in the opening. So far, so good. Let's see what's happening. Let's see what's happening in the in this Alb counter gambit. Knight GE7. I remember some games with this one, and and the games I remember is that I think I was studying some game with where Episham was white and he just gave the pawn back. I know that some strong grandmasters, and I remember for some reason I studied the Albin counter gambit because I figured when Nakamura started playing it, people would start playing it. You have to keep an eye on the chess fashion, and in the chess fashion, if a strong grandmaster, especially let's say Nakamura, when he was playing it from the United States, some people will probably follow that, and that's so I started getting ready for that, and sure enough, I think I did face it a couple of times. Okay, Pearl Hacker, his move order allows me to take back with the queen on d2. Oh, Mr. Neal, I'm gonna see if I can give Mr. Neal a take back, because he played King F8 instead of Castle, so I'm gonna give Mr. Neal a take back because he went King to F8 instead of castling. So let me tell him take back. Okay, now hold on. I could do the take back. Let me see. How do I accept? Okay, he has to accept my take back, and I'll wait for him to do that because I feel bad. I mean, King F8, the game's ruined. So I've offered Mr. Neal a take back, so he has to take it. Okay, it's happened a few times, and I've given take back, but he has to take the take back. Otherwise, my clock's going to be ticking, and I'm going to make a move. So, Mr. Neal, please accept the take back. All right. Well, I don't know what to do here. I'm sorry, but I'm going to make a move. I offered the take back. I and I've offered it again, but it says that I can't take it. Okay, he accepted the take back. Okay, good. All right. So finally, he took the take back. All right. So let's get back to the games here. All right, Knight G6 in more than a game. That's that Albin counter gambit. And normal trying to regain the piece, and then I think castles is a decent move there, trying to return the pawn for some development. Jester went bishop g7. I'll go bishop to d3. Knight bishop g4 from Trivial Pursuit. Let's take a look at this move order now. The danger of these bishop g4, bishop g5 things, if played too early, it's always going to be a queen b3 problem. Now I don't know if bishop g4 is if that's running into the problem here. Knight e5 seems like a reasonable move. Takes, pawn takes. Queen b3 is a good move. I think knight e5 is the right move at this particular one, hitting that bishop. Juan Pin, g6. We're in a Slav with queen c2. Pearl Hacker, Bogo Indian, Abbas Child, another Slav, Fianchetto. Very similar positions to what you get in the Catalan. Catalan, very annoying opening. Pearl Hacker, e5, knight d5. Cookies and Cream has given me the bishop pair. Well, I don't have to think about that too much. I'm going knight takes c5, and I'm going to try to work on the dark squares there and see what I could do to them. Now, bishop f5 instead of knight takes. Bishop f5 was played instead of knight takes e5. From very interesting move there from more than a game. But I always thought that he said he wanted me to surprise me, but it obviously didn't work. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, it's a normal game, but I don't know. Surprising somebody in chess is not so easy anymore with all the openings, and and we have to study. And also, probably my openings are better now than I was at chess player because I teach so much. I think if I played in tournaments now, I could be pretty good just because of all the studying I've done with the kids that I teach and the adults that I teach. So it's an interesting situation there. So I'm going to see. Can I go queen to b3 against more than a game and create some awkward situations down there on b7? We'll see. We'll see how that one goes. All right. So other games going here. Trivial Pursuit, knight e5, bishop h5, and now he's got to be very careful with his bishop on that side. Uh, Sometimes when the bishop is out there, that could be a real problem. So queen b3 could be an interesting move, or pawn takes pawn could be good too. Uh, on queen b3, if he goes queen to b6, does something bad happen to him? That's going to be the big question. All right, I'm going to go queen to b3. Quampin with bishop g7. That's that Neo Grunfeld Slav thing. Perfectly reasonable play. Cookies and Cream has recaptured on c5, and now I almost played b3, which would have been a problem. If I went b3, then he was going to be able to play something like queen e5 and trap my rook in the corner. So I have to defend my c pawn, or perhaps there could be some ways to sacrifice it. If I was going to sack the pawn, I might try something like bishop to f4, but protecting it maybe with knight d2 and just starting to fianchetto looks pretty decent. Okay, so we're rolling along here. Abba's Child. Chess 24 in the King's Inning. I tried a bishop g5 line, and he's replied d6. Jester has gone bishop to g4, and I think that could be, could that be a knight e5 for me? Or maybe I'll just go knight bd2 and be solid there. d5 from Cookies and Cream. I'm going to go pawn takes pawn. Castling against Quampin. So far, every game is pretty normal. Haven't messed up. You're welcome, Mr. Neal. I mean, I feel, what good is it to play in a simul when you do a mouse slip? So I always try to give the mouse slips, although there was one game where I had mate in 3 and I did a mouse slip and I lost because of it. And my opponent was proud. And to tell you the truth, that pissed me off a little bit, but that's the way it goes. Okay, bishop b6 from Trivial Pursuit. And let's see. And now I have a lot of different ideas here that I like. So queen b3 had its desired effect, which was to make him take back with the well, soften him up and then see. I think pawn takes pawn should be the right move for me now. Pawn takes c5 from Cookie and Cream, very anti-positional, but I mean, just because it's anti-positional doesn't mean that it's easy to crack. I'm going to go knight b3. That looks like a normal move. Try and use that outpost on d4. Castle. Some solid games going on. In the back rank brawler game, putting the knight on e2 is very flexible in those exchange variations. Rook to b8 for more than a game. And I think I want to play rook to d1 and see if I could put some pressure on his pawn. Abba's Child, castles, and that's a position that I've had a lot, and I've faced my old friend Alex Wojtkiewicz. We used to get that position all the time. Well, he used to get it. Actually, one time I didn't have the faintest idea what to play against him in the last round of a World Open. And it was a big money game, and I actually tried this thing, and he just murdered me. It was so not one of the best openings that I played in that situation. So now after bishop to e7, the choices become e3, knight c3 should be met with knight e4 or something like that. There's a lot of different moves here, all of them with white trying to get an e4 at some point. And get a space advantage and maybe push that bishop on f5 off a little bit. So I think today I'm going to try I think I'm going to try he castled, And I think I'm going to try rookie 1 there. Let's see. So knight c3 castled, and now rookie 1 is a pretty normal move. E3 can be played again just to go slow to get the queen out of there. There's a lot of different moves that can be played. I think I'm gonna try E3, something a little different, and then my queen will have someplace to come back to. Okay, Mr. Neal's played H6. Mr. Neal's giving me control of the center, and I think I'm just gonna develop with the D3 and see if I can get some nice pressure going. Okay, queen takes d5 from Trivial Pursuit. And now we got to see what is the situation with that. I have all kinds of ideas um, based on the queen b5 check and stuff like that. And what other moves are there? That's a dangerous situation for him in the Slav to go bishop to g4 and then to put the bishop on h5 where it's on the wrong diagonal. And then so I'm thinking about stuff like queen takes, and e4 maybe, or it's interesting here. Let's see, queen h3, looking at the bishop, and the c8 square could be something nice also. So I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go queen to h3. I think that could create some serious trouble for him. Okay, cookies and cream, queen c4, and now um, he's inviting Zebile is here, and I guess he came in late and he challenges me. So another game, why not? And let's see. And d4, I think we've had a lot of Grunfeld, so I got to be careful which one I play. We've had quite a few interesting games. All right, so cookies and cream. What is my best way to develop here? Bishop to I'm going to go bishop to f4 or bishop to e3. Bishop to g5 is interesting. I think I'm going to go bishop to f4. Try to come out fast with the pieces. Abba's child after e3 went knight e4. And then on knight e4, I have to see. I'm looking at. I had a game against strong American I am Dean Ippolito one time in this, and I think probably, let's see, rook to d1 is a decent move. Knight d2 is the sharpest, just to trade that guy off. And I think I'm going to take it easy. And yeah, I think I'll give knight d2 a try out. Why not? Sharpest move. Just get rid of the knight. Try and play e4 afterwards. Okay, cookies and cream is going bishop to e6, and let's see. I could go bishop to a3 and keep him from castling, but just rook to c1 hit looks good. Playing for development. Bishop a6 from biscuits. And I go queen c2, normal stuff there. Bishop c5 for More Than a Game. More Than a Game has a question for me. If More Than a Game, if you want to, let's see. Well, like I said, it's surprising. We have to be aware of all these openings that happen in these sorts of games. So sometimes surprising us will not be easy. Okay, so let me see what to do here. Bishop to c5. I'm thinking of just developing with knight to c3. And if he takes, I'll just take back. Well, he loses his queen, so I'm just have to make sure that nothing funny happens. Knight c3 looks like a good move. Sembeck, yeah, we're c5 pawn sacrifice in the same. It's been very good. I used to play that. Tired Dad has gone bishop e7. Tartakover variation of the Queen's Gambit decline. Very solid choice. Dodgy, we're in that Budapest. Quan Pin has gone for a very solid approach here with e6, but his bishop is stuck on c8. Perhaps he could try to get it out later. Let's see, Mr. Neal has gone d6, and I'll castle. And so far, Nothing bad has happened to me in any of these games. I think against Jester, I'll take the bishop pair. Chess 24 has gone c5, and I think I'll go. Let me see. I know this variation because I've taught my students it a lot. So I'm going to go d5. Let's see. Move hit. I pet line. Bishop takes bishop. Bishop takes knight. Let's see. a4, h5 thought a very long time and played e6. So I'm just going to. I think I'm going to try to fianchetto there and go g3. Chess 24 has gone e6, and I'll play knight to d2. And Cookies and Cream has gone queen to b4, and I guess I might as well take the free hit on his queen and go a3. Castles against Dodgy in the Budapest. And Mr. Neal has gone c6, and I guess I'll go queen e2, building up. Knight g6 from Dodgy. I can't snatch c7, so bishop g3. Knight takes f3 against Jester. I have the bishop pair, slight advantage. Dodgy's gone bishop to g3 in that Budapest. So the games are, some of the games are moving like Shelby Lyman used to say in the old days. The moves are coming in fast and furious. That was how I got interested in chess, when Shelby Lyman was covering the Fischer Spassky match on the public station PBS in New York with Channel 13. And I tell people that I became a chess player because, well, there were only, what, 5 or 6 stations back then? And I used to come home from school and watch the 4:30 movie, and some girls' movie on that day, so I didn't watch it. Something like something like Splendor in the Grass, I think, if I remember correctly. For some reason, I remember that, and I was like, man, I'm not watching this. And then there it was, Fischer Spassky on Channel 13. So I watched it, and another new game from Deviants has just showed up. High rating 2241. Biscuits, bishop b7, knight c3, back to the Queen's Indian. Bishop takes d6 to Dodgy. Queen d7 for more than a game. And let's see, against more than a game, I'm trying to see at what moment can I do something to his d pawn. I'm looking at knight to a4 now. But knight to a4, checking that out, and then his bishop has to move back, and I don't know really what I accomplished if I do that. Some kind of e3 thing, maybe. If I went e3, knight d5 could be a good move for me here. So I'm not really sure what to do. Interesting game against more than a game. Very and we'll see what the story with that one is. So lots of good games in the opening. So far, so good. I have no lost positions, and that's an important thing. I don't really keep track of how I do well in the simul's, but usually a good simul is if I lose a couple of games, and that's pretty good score. I think lately my scores in the simuls have been not bad at all. I think my best one I think was with Black, and I think I only lost one game there. So that wasn't bad at all. And so we see what the story is with this. And let's see here what to do after Queen d7. Queen b5, I'm wondering about. Softens them up. Let's give Queen b5 a try. Queen takes d6 from Dodgy, of course. That's in the Budapest Gambit that we're after, and I think I probably can get some slight advantage out of this. Let's see if there's some knight e4 move, hit his queen. That looks pretty reasonable. What else? Knight e4, queen e5, and knight c3 seems to be the kind of thing. I think I've had this not in the tournament, but I think I've had it in blitz some. So knight e4 feels like the right move there, offering a queen trade. Quan Pin's position, let's see, I'm going to go pawn to b3 and try to bother him there, just developing. Knight takes e4, queen e7 from Dodgy, and I'll go knight back to c3. Back rank brawler has played rook to e8, and I'm just going to go f3. Normal stuff. Quan Pin has played b6. It's correct idea. Try and come out with his bishop, and now I got to see, what do I want to do? Does bishop a3 do anything for me, or do I just play bishop to b2 and get my pieces out? Tired Dad has gone pawn to c5, and then and now what happened here? I thought another game might have happened, but no. Biscuits is still thinking. So my friend Nick DeFermian, I mentioned, is playing. GM Nick DeFermian is playing in a tournament in Norway, and it's pretty. Sam Shanklin's playing. It looks like a nice little GM tournament there. Not bad at all. D6 from Dodgy, and I guess rook to c1 seems like a kind of positional move that should be played there. And now I'm just always looking here, and this Quan Pin, his setup is pretty solid. Rook to d1, anticipating some stuff. Tired Dad has gone c5. And I think, let's see, that's c5. Usually it's knight b d7 and then c5. Could c5 be premature there? It doesn't look bad. I mean, and then it gives him the option later of maybe putting his knight on c6 for additional pressure on the king side. So it doesn't seem bad. When I put it over, I always thought a little more solid, but c5 looks pretty decent, and I see any big way to take advantage of it. Probably I should just play queen e2 and then try to get rook to d1 in fast. That looks like the normal procedure in this kind of position. Okay, Semberg with knight b d7, but that allows sometimes knight h3 to f2 is a nice place for the knight. Okay, Quan Pin has gone queen e7. And I guess I shall go rook to e1. A lot of normal developing moves. And more than a game has gone bishop to e7. And now can I win a game? Can I win a pawn? Or do I have even better? Queen b5, bishop e7. And I guess I want to go knight takes d4 and snatch a pawn. Okay, cookies and cream. Queen b6, and now knight c5 looks like a good move. Bishop to e3 again. Where would his queen go? Let's see. So I'm looking at bishop e3. I think bishop e3, he can't play d4, so where would his queen go? Does it have to go back to d8? I'm going to try bishop to e3. I'm having a good time chasing his queen around. Okay, knight h7 from Mr. Neal. And I think I'm going to go pawn to e5 and try to keep queens on, and also just have the bishop pair there, and okay, and let's see, knight takes. Some of the openings are in the early stages, so I'm just rolling through them. So we're back to the Slav. E5 was just played, and that's the game with Abbas Child, and now I have to see pawn takes d4. If I don't know if that's a position where I really want an isolated pawn. Of course, I can't take on e5 because that just develops him too fast, and then he hits me on d3. So I think I must play e4 and get going over there. Okay, Dodgy's played bishop e6. Now the big question is, when do I ever want to drop in with knight d5, or do I just want to build here? But what's the way to build? Queen d4 maybe, centralize. Knight d5, bishop takes, pawn takes, opens up the file. I think I'm going to give that one a try out there, see what he wants to do. Okay, Jester has gone c takes d5. He can maybe use the c file in a little while. I think I'm just going to go bishop to d2. Bishop pair should give me a slight edge there. Mr. Neal, I'll recapture with the pawn. Queen to d8 back from dodgy. And I think I'll just go queen to d2, anticipating perhaps some pressure. Cookies and Cream's queen has gone on quite a trip here. Let's see. Queen b6, queen takes c5, queen c4, queen b4, queen b6, and queen back to the original square on d8. That's a heck of a trip. All right, I'm going to go knight to c5. That looks nice. Pawn takes d4 from Abba's child. And now let's see what after pawn takes d4 seems correct. I would assume for myself, queen takes d4. E takes f5 is possible, I guess. And probably I should do e takes f5 because he's coming out fast. All right, so e takes f5. Knight g5 from Mr. Neal. And I'm on the lookout here for queen e4 ideas. I feel like something bad might happen to Mr. Neal. So I'm gonna go knight takes g5. Okay, Cookies and Cream has retreated with bishop to c8. So his pieces came out, and then they went back, then they came out again. So now I'm wondering about the not too subtle bishop to g5, just trying to keep him from castling and maybe take that d pawn. So how about it? Let me do it. Bishop to g5 it is. Muhit was still in the opening. That's in the a3 Queen's Indian. Tired Dad just played pawn takes pawn, and that on d4. And now, what is my way for recapturing? It must be my way for recapturing. Must be pawn takes d4, and then try and get a rook to d1 and in that isolated pawn position. So let's see. I'm thinking about knight takes for a second. And let's see. I mean, these isolated pawn positions, you got to be a little careful because you get into the wrong kind, and then it's a real situation here. So I think pawn takes d4 looks like a reasonable move for after queen e2. Looks okay. And now I think I have to do queen e2. I'll take pawn takes d4 back. Pawn to d4 from Cookies and Cream. Now I could win a pawn with knight takes b7 and bishop takes c6. That would be a nice pawn because the d4 pawn is still there. But there's other moves that are even greedier here. Queen b3, trying to keep him from castling. Also doesn't look bad. So I'm looking at this knight takes b7, bishop takes b7, bishop takes c6, pawn takes, rook takes. That looks good. Queen b3, like I said, is a very greedy kind of move. And maybe I'll go for greedy here. Let's see. So, and then I have to make sure what sort of moves does he have there. Okay, I'm going to try queen to b3. I'm sure the other thing was good enough. Okay, knight f6 from Trivial Pursuit. And now, what about queen to c8? Queen h3 was the idea. Knight f6 is reasonable as anything. And now I guess knight to c3 looks nice. Developing, it turns into a gambit. He's got to be careful where he puts his queen. 3, e5 from Jester. I think I should probably, well, I have ideas. I'm looking at bishop to b5. And then if he goes e4, knight to e5, stuff could be good for me. Pawn takes pawn might give me a slight edge. Knight takes and put the bishop on c3. That could be a slight edge. So it's between those two moves. I think I'll go with pawn takes pawn and give him an isolated pawn straight off. Okay, Mr. Neal played bishop takes g5, and now I want to see what to do here. Rook to d1. Does it threaten bishop h7? I think rook to d1 has got to be a nice move, trying to cause him to misplace something. Dodgy's played f5. And I guess rook to d1 looks like a decent move for me, building up for eventual c5 idea. Okay, knight e5 from Stembeck. I just play knight f2. Must get out of the way. Pawn takes pawn from chess 24. Bishop takes pawn against Abba's Child. Queen b3 from Cookies and Cream. And now, let's see. So I want to trade. Now I think I'm after this pawn here. Okay, let me take on b6 and take on b7. I think I'm winning some pawns in those positions. So I think I'm happy about that situation. Quampin is in a very solid position, and I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. I'm developing. I think my position is better, but I don't really know what my plan is. I think I'm going to try. If I go pawn takes pawn, pawn takes pawn, perhaps I can be a little better there. Bishop f6 from Abba's Child. Absolutely sensible move. Trade the bishop. In some cases, he'll get a good bishop against a knight. And I guess I should go rook ad1. Looks like a decent move also. So rook ad1, causing maybe with some pin situations. Quan Pin has gone. Took back with the c pawn. I guess if he took back with the e pawn, I was going to go e4. So I persuaded him to take back with the e pawn. Now I'm looking at tricky moves here like knight to b5. And I think I'll try knight to b5. I don't know. The worst thing that could happen is I wind up going on a full retreat. So we'll see what the situation with that is. Muhit's gone c5. That's a solid move. Now, Cookies and Cream. I believe I'm going to go knight takes b7. And I'm hoping to win some pawns. Tired Dad took on c4. I take back with the bishop. Knight f8 from Back Rank Brawler. I don't want my bishop out there. Bishop takes c6 from Cookies and Cream. Bishop takes c3. Queen takes c3 from Abba's Child. Biscuits were still in early moments of a3 Queen's Indian. Knight to b3 is correct. 1 pawn up on Cookies and Cream, maybe going on 2. Pawn to e4 from Pearl Hacker. All right, well, I think I'm content just to take his knight and be up a pawn. Let's see, is that right? I take c6, he takes f3. I think that wins a pawn for me. Quan Pin has just gone rook dc8, and I'm going to go queen to b1. So everything seems sort of like sensible games we have so far. All right, Mr. Neal played knight to d7. So now he stopped bishop h7. Now I got to see, when do I want to go queen to e4? Queen. I think I'm going to go. I think I'm going to play f. Well, I don't know. It would make sense somehow for me to just trade those bishops. But all right, I'm going to go f4. Looks reasonable. Chess 24 a6. I'll play a4. Biscuits. I take the bishop on c5. Muhit's played the opening very well. I'm just going to play e3 there. And queen c7 from Abba's Child. And that's a solid move. Breaks the pin. And now I have to see what sort of idea do I have here. Rook to e1. Maybe, and then let's see what's happening there. Rook to e1, threatening rook e7, looks good, and then we'll see how he deals with that. All right, Trivial Pursuit, queen back to d8, after knight to c3, and how do I take advantage of this one? Just maybe I take my time here. Looks like developing move, maybe getting ready to castle queenside, bishop to e3, protecting the pawn. Dodgy has gone queen to g5. Now, what is that? Can I not go knight takes c7? What does he have a big mate on me? Knight h4. I have g3. I don't know. I think I'm going to try to snatch this pawn. Why not? If I can't snatch it, for some reason I can't, well, good for him. but we'll see. Okay, chess 24. We're in a we got into a Benoni, but I think it's a good Benoni setup for me. And let's see what's happening here with more than a game. It seems like I'm just up a pawn there. That one looks pretty good, doesn't it? Queen 5. He went bishop e7, and then I went and then I took d4. And after takes d4, I takes d4, and he's already down a pawn, and I'm looking to see should I snatch c7 as well. I took knight takes b5, threatening more pawns, and then he castled, and now do I want to snatch another pawn here? Pretty much up a pawn here. Looks like g4, sending his bishop back, is good. Trivial Pursuit played e6, and let's see what my ideas are now. After I did bishop to e3, anticipating some castles queenside. He went e6, and I guess now I go g4. I think that's g4 has been lurking there, just to take at the right time. Okay, b takes c5 from biscuits. Bishop d3. Jester has gone rook takes e5, and I think I'm just going to go rook fc1, take the file. Maybe a type of position where I could offer him queen trades. Knight takes g6 from Trivial Pursuit. I like my position there a lot. Knight a5 from Muhit. And so I think that we've been going on for about 35, 40 minutes. And so far, I don't think I have any positions, so that could be a record for me. Usually something bad happens at some point early on, but so far here, it feels like not so bad. So a3, some a3 queens Indians, Budapest, few queens gambits. There are some solid positions that we have, but overall, I think that for the white pieces today, it's been a success, at least in the opening stage of the game. So we'll see what. Of course, it's always nice to get out of the opening in one piece, but you never know what happens after that. So we'll see what would happen here. Muhit just played knight a5, and I'm trying to see how I can deal with that. I'm wondering if I can go pawn to b5, pawn just straight out pawn to b4 against him, and see how that one works. That doesn't look bad. What would do there? Maybe I can work on his isolated pawn later. He could get the c file. I wonder about my b4 pawn though later on also. So there's some situations there where he's just better. So got to see what do we think of that. And so lots of complications, and Simal's rolling along. I think there are a few games where I'm used to having winning positions, and we got to see how that story goes. Whether it's always nice to have a few knockouts in these kinds of simals, just to make it a little easier for later on. Clocks. I've had a lot of fun at the chess camps I do with clock simals, and that's always a lot of fun. The clock simals, at in person, really kind of really a lot of fun. Okay, so let's see what to do. Back to this game here. Looks like I don't know what's going on. Back rank brawler just played queen b6, and I think I'm gonna go knight to a4, protect my pawn, hit his knight. Okay, dodgy threatened mate, and I'm just gonna go g3. So I wonder what's going on there. Knight e4 from Cookies and Cream, and I guess I just move my bishop somewhere. Looks like Bishop f4 looks good. That's a game where I'm up some pawns. And rook to e8 from Abba's Child stops my rook e7 ideas. And let's see what to do there. Do I have any kind of nice things here? Let's see. I'm thinking about. Let's see. After rook e8, thinking about rook takes rook, and then maybe some queen d4 action. All right, let's try this. Rook takes rook. Quan pin, bishop a6, and I thought I was going to go bishop to a3. And I think I will, and we'll see what he does there. Okay, Mr. Neal, what to do here? Queen e4 is met by f5 now, and he takes back on f6, I think. But I'm thinking of maybe just moving my bishop to c2 and just playing slowly for space sort of situations. Okay, Quan Pin. Do I like knight to d6? What's the story there? Knight to d6. Don't know. I've got rook to c1 ideas. I think his position is okay there. All right, I'm gonna try knight to d. Hold on. What's going on here? Bishop takes c4 from Tired Dad. The board's getting a little jumpy on me. Tired Dad is thinking, so I'm not in time pressure anywhere. So I'll talk about the candidates some more. 2 rounds to go, and it's always good to see. I mean, the match is in New York. If we got Fabiano, that would really be something. Although I noticed that a lot of people were mad at these Aegon people for this deal where they're trying to keep people from broadcasting the games, and then they had trouble themselves, so that's a real situation. Okay, let me see if there are other games where people are thinking that sometimes this happens and it's not good. So, okay, so back to Quan Pin. Now, let's see. Now, I was thinking knight to d6 could be a good move. Bishop to d6 to try and come in there, but no, then that might allow him. I have to be careful of forks on c3. I think I'm going to go rook to c1 and challenge the c file. Okay, now cookies and cream. It seems like I should take this b pawn and be up 2 past pawns. Queen d4 from Abba's Child, forking his knight and a pawn. Let me try knight takes pawn against. Let's see, after bishop e6 in more than a game. Interesting position. Now, I just made him go g4. So, after g4, he went bishop to e6, and I'm thinking now knight takes c7 looks nice. G5 from Cookies and Cream, and I'm thinking that bishop to d4 going after another pawn looks nice. Let's see. Yep, why not? Let's go bishop e5. We're after some pawns. Bishop f8 from Quan Pin. Solid move. I guess I'll just take it. And I don't know. That game is pretty solid, actually. All right. Now, Queen a5 from Back Rank Brawler. I go bishop to f2. I thought against Back Rank Brawler he might be trying to set up some knight g4 trick. And then take on e3 in between. Zebile, the Zebile popped up. I don't know what's going on here. I would certainly make some moves if the board popped up, so who knows what happened there. Bishop c5 from more than a game, and I guess I'll just go rook e4 and protect my pawns. Knight e5 from chess 24, I'll castle. Knight d2, a tricky move from Cookies and Cream, and I think I'm just going to go. Well, hold on here. Let's see what the story is here. Cookies and Cream, if I go rook to d1 and he forks my knight and my bishop and rook, so I go rook to c1. And then does he have any tricky business with pawn to d3? So, all right, I'm going to go rook to c1, and I think I'm up 2 pawns there. Trying to make some moves fast here. Okay, let's see what happens here with Quan Pin. I'm going to trade rooks on c8, see how he takes back. Knight e4 from Jester, and I think I want to go bishop to e1, keep the bishop pair. Zebile, we're in another, of course, we're always in these Grunfelds. So, I think today I'm just going to go e3 and take it easy. Rook c8 from Cookies and Cream, and I think I'm just going to trade rooks. Knight h7 from Semberg, sorry, and can I go f4? F4, there's no knight g4 now. He'll go knight back to d7. That seems like a decent thing to do there. Unless he has some tricks with knight to g4. I think it's, I think I'll try f4 there. Okay, Zebile has gone castles, and I think I'm going to try pawn to b4. a6 for more than a game. And see, that's the game where I'm up 2 pawns. He went bishop c5. And I went rook to e4, defending my pawn. And then he went a8. And what's the story with this now? Bishop to g5, just doing some developing ideas, I guess. Look decent. Maybe provoking a6. Knight e6 from back rank brawler, and I guess I'll just go pawn to a3. Okay, now, what's going on with Cookies and Cream here? I'm thinking of going rook to b8 and trading everybody and then pushing my a-pawn. What about it? I think that might be the simplest way to win. All right, I'm going to do rook to b8 and just try to simplify the win. Okay, Quan Pin has taken with the rook, and I guess his point is if I take a7, very solid position here for both sides. I guess I'll go rook c1. Very drawish, this game. Okay, f6 from that knight left f6, so I'm going to try f6, see if I can get some attack. h6 for more than a game. And let's see, so I went bishop g5. He went h6. And now I guess I just go, bishop to d2 looks okay. Knight and Semberg has gone to d7, and I think I just castle now. And I think I like my position there. Now, the back rank brawler, his queen thing presented me with a couple of different plans. I think I'm going to go king h1 and just see what sort of comes. I'm usually trying to play for e4 in those positions. Okay, Cookies and Cream has gone knight b3, which holds, well, how long does it hold the pawn up for? If I go, let's say, a5 and put my bishop on c7, also walking my king across could be nice. I think I'm going to try and walk my king across. Maybe go after that d pawn too. Okay, so interesting positions all over the place. And let's see what's happening here. So I got f6 in, which is a dangerous pawn. He went g6, and I guess I'll go bishop f3, give myself some air. Take it easy, just keep that pawn there. He's tied the back rank stuff. Okay, his king's walking across, my king's walking across. And no, Trivial Pursuit, it must be right to snatch the pawn on e6. Let's see about that. Looks like a nice pawn. Oh, okay. I don't know why you're doing that. Okay, g5, and then after knight d7. I mean, how can it be wrong to take x here? It's got to be right to chomp e6. Which okay, pawn takes e5. Okay, Mr. Neal. Knight to c5, and I guess I'm going to go, there's tricks here. Do I want to go bishop to e3? Are there any pin ideas for me? Yep, bishop to e3 looks like a good move for me. Try and pin him, see what comes of that. Semberg went queen to b6, threatening my pawn. And I'm thinking of just queen to c2 I'm looking at. Also, simple rook to b1 could be all right. What's his idea? All right, I'm going to go queen to c2. That looks all right. Pawn to d4 from Muhit. Very nice. Let's see now. He could wind up with an isolated pawn there. So that's a position. Bishop takes b7 and then takes. What's the situation with that? Not sure about that one. So we'll see. I'm thinking I should take, and then see if I can maybe surround this d4 pawn. That could be decent. So that's what I'm going to do. Bishop takes b7. Anything else? Pawn takes. If I go pawn takes first, all right. I guess let's see. Bishop takes bishop first. And now let's see what's happening here with Zeboil. Zeboil played pawn to b6. Interesting business there. So we'll see what's going on with these games here. And what positions do we have? All right, let's see. Zeboil's has had success against me in the Grunfeld. We played quite a few games, and all of them pretty reasonable games. I think last month's game, if I'm not mistaken, and I have a pretty good memory, really kind of annoyed me. I think I was just black in a solid position in a Queen's Indian, and then all of a sudden, I just played such a series of moves that just led to kind of a miserable loss. So, but I'm white today, so maybe I can control myself a little bit better. And e6, I'm thinking about pawn takes pawn. I'm thinking about queen b3 to make him take me. Also setting up minority attacks and stuff like that. Queen b3 is not a bad move. There's funny moves like bishop to a3. I don't know. I mean, those are the main moves. It's all based on keeping him locked up a little bit. So I think I'm going to go with queen to b3. Okay, queen back to e7 for trivial pursuit, but it looks like a position where I want to keep queens on the board, so I'm backing up. Now, what to do against Muhit here? If let's see what's going on with this pawn. I'm going to take on d4 and see if I can surround his pawn. So, and these games are coming in pretty fast here. And so trying to deal with that. And looks like interesting stuff all over the place. Carnegam, it got a little crazy. But 2 pawns up. And now I got to just see he's attacking me. Probably he did rook d8, and now I'm looking at stuff like, well, just bishop c3. I just have to be careful about my bishop. This position is messier. I thought it was going to be easier actually than what it was, and it's not it's not all that easy actually. So yeah, I bishop c3, just get out of the way. Looks right. Okay, Zeboil after queen b3 did bishop to b7, protecting the pawn. This game I'm already in time pressure, and he came in late, and so I'm in time pressure. I don't know if the board is working that well, to tell you the truth. So I've got to see what the deal with that is. I have gotten into time pressure on these boards, but I can move pretty fast if I have to. But sometimes the board thing gets messed up, and it doesn't come back to me for quite a while. And then what can I do? Because then I have to go hunting around, and that's not that easy to do sometimes. So Zebel, I'm thinking about some kind of moves here. Uh, Pawn takes pawn, knight takes pawn, bishop c4 stuff. C5, I don't know if I go c5 and he goes a5. I'm not sure what that is. C5 could be a move there. Just developing with bishop to a3, maybe to stop his c5 ideas. Although with his bishop on b7, it might not be that easy for him to do that. So whatever it is, I should probably decide on it pretty quickly. I'm leaning towards bishop to a3 or bishop to b2 actually, and to see what I should do there. Okay, let's see. Coming to conclusions, not I don't know. I mean, it's all look like decent moves here. I think that maybe I'm just going to go with bishop to a3 because it looks like it's a little bit better than there with bishop. So I think I'm going to go bishop to a3, get that bishop out of the way. Okay, now Pearl Hacker's gone b6, and this looks like I have a chance for a strong center here. My pawn on d6 is very nice. I don't know. I think I'll just go rook to e1, and then maybe start pushing in my center. Rook e8, s24, and I'm thinking about what moment can I go f4. I have to be careful about when I go f4 about knight to g4 stuff. So I'm just going to go h3 and see if I can stop it. Okay, now what is going on with this Trivial Pursuit? This game I like a lot, and I just played queen g4. I snatched a pawn. I'm up a pawn, and he went queen e7. His king is open, so keeping the queens on the board makes sense. And then he played knight a6, and I guess bishop g2 looks like just a nice developing move. Can make my king safe also. Cookies and Cream just went knight c5, and now I'm looking at bishop to e5. Tap pawn, and we'll see what comes of that. a5 from back rank brawler. And I think I'm going to, let's see, I'm always setting up for e4 in these positions, but I think I'm going to go rook c1 first. Maybe there's some other way to play here. h6 from Abba's Child. And let's see what happened there. We traded rooks, and then went back, and then 4, and then he went knight b6. That was good. f6, I was very happy about that. Bishop f3, and now we'll see what the deal is here. How to get in there. h6 is a good move. He's anticipating my king going in there. And I think I'm just going to take my time here and go king g2 and see what the story is. All right, Cookies and Cream is coming up with his king. And I guess what happens if I go king to d3? Is that another pawn? I'm going to go king to d3 straight out and try and take another pawn. Why not? Okay, queen takes d4 for Muhid, attacking my pawn. And now the question is, what do I do here? I think I'm going to go just queen to e2 and see if I can bother him later with that. Now, back rank brawler, when do I want to go e4? When do I want to go e4? I always have to make sure that my center is safe. I got to make sure that my bishop on g1 is out of the way. So I think it's going to be time for e4. King h7 from Abba's Child. Good move, getting out of the way. And then I'll go. My back rank is ready, so that's it for the back rank. So I'm going to go rook to d3. Some ideas. e4 from Pearl Hacker, and I think I'm just going to go e4. Another pawn from Cookies and Cream. Looks like I could just go king takes d4. Rook c8 from Trivial Pursuit, defending his pawn. But where's his king going to go? That's a serious problem for him. And now I think I could just castle. Rook to e8 from Muhet. I'm going to go rook to e1 and protect my pawn. Looks like more than a game. He's hitting my f6. I think I'll just go e3. My rook looks funny on e4, but I think it's okay. And now Cookies and Cream, knight e6. I just go king d5. I think I'm up 3 pawns there for nothing. And queen to b6 from Jester. And in the Jester game, now I'm wondering about queen trade offers on c7. And if he went queen takes a2, what's happening? Queen takes b2, sorry. Yeah, I'm going to try queen c7. Sembeck, e5. Wow, I don't know. Obviously, I'm very happy. I think I should go f5 before he takes. And what happened to his bishop there, that doesn't feel right to me. That just does not feel right at all, what he did. So let's see what's going on here. This is a game with biscuits. This game's still basically in the opening. And I think, well, I mean, I think castling must be right to me. I don't know why I'm thinking about that one. A6 from Abba's Child. And let's see, so that was, we're both making sure our king's safe. My rook's coming up. He went a6, and I think I offer him a trade of rooks, and then maybe try to get my queen to e7, something like that. Doubling rooks for more than a game, and white, well, I cannot go f4. He takes on f4. Can I just go rook to f1 and protect all my stuff? Queen f6 from Pearl attacks my bishop. I just will drop it back. f4 from Cookies and Cream, and I don't think I'm too worried there. I think I'll just go pawn to g4. More pawns on black for later on. Knight a5 from Muhit. Rook a d1 feels right. Zebile, has after bishop to a3, went c6. And we got to see after what kind of plan after c6 should I do. So bishop a3, c6, and now I'm thinking. See, I'd like him to take me on c4 so I save a tempo, but I think he knows that. So then in that situation, you know, that's what I'm gonna do. But sooner or later, if I want a castle, I think probably I have to do it. So let's see. So I go c6. Rook c1 seems sensible. Maybe wait him out. Good developing moves. Okay. Abba's Child, rook to d8. Good move. Gets out of the way of stuff. And let's see what did I do there? And so rook to d8, queen to c5 looks good. Rook e6 from Jester. So, good question. If I take, I'm getting jumped on. He's bothering me on the b2 square with the knight e4. So I got to be a little careful of the fork. So if I trade, is it takeable on b2? Is a good question. I take, and I can go bishop to c3. I think Jester is doing okay here. I'm looking maybe at rook to b1. Can he snatch b2? All right, I'm gonna go rook to b1 and guard my stuff. f5, knight d f6 from Sembeck, and now It's a good question here. I can play on both sides of the board. Maybe I start up with A3 and B4 also, playing all over the place in this game. Our position is, let's see what's happening there. That was with rook to C1. And it's a question of when do I take on D5? I'm going to take on D5 right now so that he doesn't do the bishop C4 tempo thing to me. All right, now knight H4 from more than a game. More than a game. I'm thinking of starting up here with some bishop to D4, trying to get rid of that bishop, fix my pawn structure up, stuff like that. I'm going to go bishop to D4. My rook is still funny there, but I think I'm okay. Cookies and cream. I'm going to start pushing my B pawn. Time to get these pass pawns going. Pearl Hacker, should I go F4? I'm wondering about this deal here, or should I have all day to prepare? I think I'm going to go rook E3 and prepare it. Okay, B4, King D7 from Cookies and Cream. I'm going to keep pushing my B pawn. Queen C4 from Muhit. That looks like a good move. If I trade, he's forking my pawns. So I think that I'm going to go knight to D5. Cookies and Cream has allowed me to go to a king and pawn onion, up a lot of pawns. Quan Pin, I might be slightly better, but that's leaning towards a draw. Knight C8 from Abba's Child after Queen C5. And I have to see, how do I bother him some more? I think I'm going to bother him with Queen to C4, maybe some threats. Queen takes C1 from Quan Pin, so I'm going to have to start moving here. A little bit of time pressure happening. Muhit, I guess. I'll play F4 and defend my pawn. I'm looking for pin ideas for him. I think F4 looks decent, although, let's see here. If his knight got into D4, would that create any big trouble for me? Could be. Got to be a little careful about this situation. Might have to order trade of rooks right now with knight to D1. What I was looking at is if I double rooks, he has knight to C4 also. So doubling rooks just isn't right. So I should go knight to, I could go pawn to B4, but then he goes knight to C6. Pawn takes, and that could fizz into a draw, I suppose. All right, I'm going to go knight to C3 and trade rooks. I could be a little worse there. Okay, Quan Pin. Do I want to get rid of this? I'm going to go bishop takes knight and get rid of my bishop and try and get my queen in there. A4, A5. Knight BD7. He's got control of the center. I probably should have had better in this game than I did. Maybe I should have followed my instincts and not have snatched pawn. Okay, let's see. Zembek is where I have a nice grip position. I'm playing on both sides. I was about to make a move in some game, and then the board switched me. And I hope I didn't make the right move. Now, why am I back to biscuits where he's thinking? These ICC boards from time to time go a little bit crazy. So because of the board thing, sometimes I'm in a little bit time pressure. We've been going for about an hour, and things seem to be under control more or less. Got to see what's happening. The A4 A5 game is very messy. I would get a safer position there, but didn't manage to. All right, so we got a lull in the action, and we'll see what's going on. No results yet. There's a couple that are close to being wins for me. So we'll see what's happening with that. And I'm in a winning game pawn ending, and in a few other games I have very favorable positions. I don't know. I don't think I have any lost positions, so they're under control there. And just see what's going on. These games. All right. Any moves? Biscuit thinking. I'm gonna go to the window and see if I can find something. It's supposed to pop up when somebody's thinking, but unfortunately, sometimes see I went to the backer and my clock is running, and that's not good when that happens. Okay, Quam Pin. Now, I've got him a little tied up here with my queen and knight, or trying to bother his queen and knight. So perhaps I have a little something here. Cookies and cream. This one is just pretty over. Um, King G8 from Abba's Child, very good. Dodge my threat. So that was Queen C4. He went King G8, and then I guess I go Queen 2, threatening some Rookie 8 check. Looks good. A 4 hit maybe slightly better. Mr. Neal, what I can do, can I go pawn to B4 and drive him back and then play A3? Keep him bottled up nicely. Cookies and Cream's position is pretty resignable now. Queen F7 from Trivial Pursuit. So I castled, and he just went Queen F7. And now I got to see what's Rook AC1. Looks like the C pawn is a weakness. That seems like a sensible sort of thing to do. H6 from Cookies and Cream. I'm just making queens. Sembeck, I'm playing on all sides of the board, which seems a little odd, but it looks like it's okay. Rook AE8 from Pearl Hacker. Now the question is, when do I want to open them up? I think I could take my time with that, so I'm going to go H4 and give myself some air. Queen D6 from Abba's Child. And this game is just rolling along here. So that was, let's see, how is that one going now? I just went Queen to E2, and he went Queen to D6, and I guess I'll trade rooks. And Muhit's gone Knight C6, and I'll go F4. And Cookies and Cream is not resigning, so I got to make some queens. Let's see. Pawn to C5. No, against Mr. Neal, A3 looks sensible. Just protect my stuff. I'm not in any hurry. Back brawler. Pawn to E5 looks like the right thing to do. Bishop D6 developing from Trivial Pursuit. And let's see what to do. Knight to B5 looks nice. Tricks all over the place, very tactical. Back rank brawler has just gone Knight D7, and F4 looks like the kind of thing that I want to do. And it looks like Cookies and Cream is almost done. F6 for Muhit. So Muhit looks like he's going to win a pawn here. Muhit is the one game I stumbled into a bad position. So that's that's not good. He's winning a pawn, and so what to do here? What's the best way to lose a pawn and maybe have drawing chances? Pawn to E6. He goes to D4. Let him take it and then maybe play. I don't know. Rook to D2 can't do. Let's see, knight to C3, or let's see if I could get this knight to C3, but then he has knight to D4 also ideas coming in. So this one is got a little difficult. He had this knight coming to D4 idea, was driving me crazy from the beginning. So all right, I'm going to try knight C3. I'm going to be down a pawn there. Mr. Neal played Rook D8. I'm going to go pawn to C5 and get a bind, maybe put a knight on D6. Quan Pin played King H7. I think I'm just going to give myself some air with H3. Bishop to B8 from Trivial Pursuit. And now I think something must go on d6, right? And the question is, what's better to take it with after bishop to d6? Looks like bishop takes c6. Looks good. Back rank brawler, rook to c8. And do I want to keep charging in with f5, or do I need to prepare this a little bit? Let's see. I mean, if I go charging in there, do I just want to keep going all the way to f6? Don't know. So also going knight g3 and getting my queen out doesn't seem bad. I think I'm going to go charging in with f5 and see what happens. Mu hits up a pawn. And how do I want to, let's see, what's a good way for me to try and get some compensation here? I guess I'll go king to king to f2. He might not be good. King to g2. All right, knight f8, back rank brawler, I'm afraid, is getting himself into a real passive situation here. And let's see what to do. Knight to g3, knight to f4. Knight to g3 looks nice. And cookies and cream. I'll make a queen. He has pawn moves, so it's no stalemate. f6 from Mr. Neal. Hitting away at my at my position now. I'm looking at things like queen to c4. Pawn takes, pawn, queen takes. That looks like something I might do. Queen g4 doesn't look bad either. So I'm going to try queen to c4. Back rank brawler has hit me with c5. And I think I'm going to just throw my queen out there to h5 and see what happens. Certainly looks nice. Would be surprised if there wasn't something there. Zabal, I guess I'll just go bishop to e2 and develop. And finally, cookies and cream got mated with queen to b5. Okay, now I'm going to start pushing my pawns against Quan Pin and try and dislodge his knight. Mu hit. What to do here? I get knight e4. I'm not sure what it does. I'm going to go knight e4 and see. It's a little bit of a trick. It's kind of obvious, actually. And now, again, Zebile, do I want to play b5? I think I'm going to go b5, try and bottom him up. Knight e4 from Quan Pin. And now, let's see. Do I want to go f3? Where will he go if I play f3? Knight d6, queen d7. That's the kind of position that I want where he's all tied up. Okay, now Zembek playing on. This is a game where I'm playing on all sides. Not really sure I'm supposed to do that, but I'm doing it. All right, now I'm gonna. I guess I'm just gonna go pawn takes pawn. Knight d6 from Quan Pin, and now what I'm looking to see is, can I go queen to d7 and keep him from moving stuff? Okay, queen f8 from Abba's Child, then queen to d7. Okay, king f2 from Mr. Neal. Wow. King f7, sorry, is what it was. And now I'm looking at things like bishop to f5. What would he do on bishop to f5? Looking at f5, nah. Looking at rook to d6. Rook to d6. If I could do that, that would be nice. Let's see. Bishop to b3 looks like the most sensible thing to do, though. What else is there? Queen e4 ideas to provoke f5 sometimes. Let's see what happens on bishop to b3. I'm going to try bishop to b3. Okay, knight d6 from Abba's Child. And I guess I just sort of gain space on the queen side. a4. Try and knock him out. Rook d8 from Trivial Pursuit. And I guess I'll go queen e4 check. Looks like it might discombobulate him a little bit. Rook to b1. Okay, Mu hit's gone. All right, Mu hit, I'll go pawn takes pawn. Queen B8 from Abba's Child. Pawn to B4, I guess. More space. Fixes pawns. Makes sense. Chess 24 and 6. Knight C4. I guess I'll hit D6. That seems right. And now what's happening with Mr. Neal? I'm going to put my rook into D6. It looks nice. Okay, Bishop C8 from Pro Hacker. Now, at what moment do I want to just go E5? I can prepare it some more. Can go F4. And then I'm going to go hit him with E5. Okay, Chess 24, Bishop F8. So I got him retreating a little bit. I'm getting in a little bit of time pressure on that board. I'm going to go Queen to C2. A4, H5. And I'm going to go Rook to E1. Okay, now Quan Pin just went G5. And now what happens on Knight C6? Is that winning for me? Okay, Knight E8 from Abba's Child. And I must protect with Queen E7. And he's a little tied up. G6 from Back Rank Brawler. And now where should my queen go? All right, Queen 3 looks good. Pile on that F file. Bishop to E7 back from more than a game. And now what's going on here? Can I go F4 and protect all my stuff and then get my rooks out and stuff? Let's see what happens. Is F4 a good move? A5 from Zebile, okay. And I guess I'll cancel. And H6 from Muhit, okay. So my E5 pawn is a problem, and I believe. So I guess I'm gonna go. I gotta see how can I do something to him here, or do I just want to lose my pawn and then that's just wait? Let me go knight to. I hate to get passive about it though. That's the thing. Sometimes it's just better to lose the pawn and get some action going instead of running into a passive situation. So question is, if I play a move like H4 or G4, what's happening? His king's coming up to E6. How can I? Is there any way for me to stop that? Rook to C2. Not really sure what that does. So this is a game where I have some problems. So let's see. Let me go knight to D6 check and see what maybe I can protect all my stuff. Okay, now C takes D4 from Back Rank Brawler. And now pawn takes. Man, there's got to be a way for me to get in here. Do I want to take. Let me take on C8 first. F4 for more than a game. I think all my stuff is protected out there, isn't it? So let me go. Pawn to C5 looks decent. Let me go pawn to C5. Okay, Zebile has gone rook to C8, and I guess I'm going to just go rook to C2. Knight C7 from Abba's Child. And I guess I'll just go H4. Gain base on both sides. Man, I'm tired down. I'm sorry. This game, it hasn't. Your board hasn't come to me in a long time. It's really kind of ridiculous. I don't understand. Okay, Rook AD1. I have to do. I mean, it's just I don't understand what goes on here sometimes with this stuff. Okay, so Muhit played King to E6, and I'll go G4, just hanging out there. Let's see what's going on here with Sembek. I'm going to go knight to B5. Rook E8 from Zebile, and I think that. Do I want to double rooks on the C file? That looks right. Queen E4 check, King F8 from Trivial Pursuit. And what to do now? Bishop to B7. Okay, we traded rooks on back rank brawler. Now, how do I open them up here? Somehow a bishop coming to d4 is going to be pretty nice for me. So I think I should take on g6. And then there. Okay, more than a game, brings his king up. That doesn't bother me. I'm just going to start up. Okay, Mr. Neal, I sacrificed the change to keep him bottled up, and we got to see how does that look? E6 from Zembalel, and now I'm looking at ideas like knight to a4 or knight to e5. And then if he goes knight to e5, what happens then? My knight's out there. Knight to d2 could be a move. I don't know if I want to let him go e5. Maybe bishop to d6. Or I'm going to try bishop to d6. Okay, let's see. King g6 from more than a game. And I guess I'll just keep on pushing with a4. And queen f7 check from back rank brawler. Queen to b6 from Stembeck. And I guess I'll just go rook to b1. H5 for more than a game. And I guess I'll just go h3. And now I got to see. So I sacked the exchange against Mr. Neal. And now and it looks nice. So what is my next thing to do here? F5 to completely tie him up, maybe. Let's try that. But then, well, I don't know. Knight e2, maneuvering, rook to d1. Where do I get in here is going to be a good question. All right, I'm going to try rook to e1. And I got him nice and bottled up there. Okay, now let's see. Rook c6 from Jester. And, okay, if I go queen, let's see. Rook takes c6. What does he take it back? With the pawn, maybe? And he gets, this position probably is what? If I take with the queen, he could take with the pawn. I think I should probably go rook takes c6, but then I really don't want him to get such a wall of pawns. Queen d7, I don't believe. He might even have knight f6, and my queen's getting bounced. So, all right, let's go queen takes b6. Queen f7 from back rank brawler, and now I'm getting ready here. I'm going to bishop takes d4, threatening e6 check. Can he stop that? Okay, h5 from Abba's child. And I guess I make my king safe. King h2. Knight h4 from chess 24. And I feel like I should open him up here with f4 at some moment soon. And maybe now's the time. Bishop b7, a4, h5 is stopping my e4 idea. And I guess I'll just go b3 and get my bishop out that way. Jester took back with the rook on b6, and I guess I'll just go b3. Bishop c5 from back rank brawler. And now if I take on c5, maybe he gets a pawn to d4 or something. So that's pretty interesting. All right, I'm going to take on c5. Let's see, knight e6 from Abba's child. And I guess bishop to e4, I'll make some threat. Okay, now what has happened here? Back rank brawler, my e5 pawn is a little bit suspicious here. So if I go can I go bishop to e3? But then he goes knight takes e5. And then am I trying for mates at all? This is not far from clear here. And if bishop to d4, he'll do that. So I'm looking out. I'm thinking I got to go e6 check, but it's not working out the way I thought it would. So I'm certainly okay there, but I thought it was going to be better. Any sacrifices, knight h5 stuff. Bishop c3. Bishop c3 goes d4. I snatch a5. He takes e5. All right, I think I might try bishop to c3. Rook to c1 is pretty interesting, actually, to pin him. What happens with that? So he can't take my bishop. All right, I think I'm going to try rook to c1. Okay, Jester a6. I think I'm going to see if I can get my rook. If my rook gets to c7, does it do anything? He can bounce me with bishop e5. I have a5. Maybe taking on e4 is correct. All right, I'm going to take on e4. Gives a bit of a target. Okay, let's see. We have now h4 for more than a game, and it's a little locked. And now I got to see, how do I get in here? I guess I'm going to take my time. I'll go rook to f2. Make sure everybody's protected. Knight h5 from chess 24. And I guess I just go bishop to h2. And rook to c7 against Jester. d5 from Biscuits. And let's see now. Boy, this is another game that just doesn't show up too often. Pawn takes, knight takes. Bishop d6 Sebile, and I guess, do I want to trade those guys? Or do I want to keep them? Yeah, okay, I'll trade there. Good move from Muhit. Now, Muhit, I have rook takes e5, but he goes king takes d6. I'm going to take my chances in a down rook pawn down ending. See what happens with that. Okay, bishop g4 from Pearl Hacker. And at some point, all right, I'm going to go e5 now. At some point, I had to do it. Okay, knight f8 from Abba's Child. And I got to relocate my bishop. Bishop to c2. And let me see now what to do here against Muhit. One for nothing. But rook endings, if you're down a pawn, are the best chance to hang on. So I'm going to see if I could manage to hang on here. Okay, rook e8 from Trivial Pursuit. All right, now the boards are getting a little weird on me here. So I don't know if I should ask Sandra what is going on here or what. Rook e8 and c8 looks good. Sebile. This game, I feel like maybe, I don't know, I mean, it's a little bit drawish here. Knight e5, knight a4, then he goes knight e4. Or I'm going to try knight a4. I think Sebile is probably, the game is probably just pretty equal, actually. Pawn to g4 from chess 24. This one is another one that's getting messy. Let's see now what to do here. Threatening g3. I wonder, I almost feel like hitting him on the other side with a5 somehow. Pawn takes g4, bishop takes g4, bishop e2. What about something like that? Let me try that. Maybe it can open up on him. Okay, b5 from Mr. Neal. And Mr. Neal's putting up a good barrier here, so not bad. I mean, but he is completely bottled up, which is why I did it. Okay, queen c8 from Abba's Child. Bishop to b3 looks good. That was the idea. Rook c8 for more than a game, so I think I'll just protect with rook c2. Bishop takes g4 from chess 24, and I'm going to go bishop to e2. a6, Sembek, I retreat my knight. I'm better there, but not that easy. So a lot of games, 12 moves in the a4, a5. I don't understand what's going on with the boards. So it's happened before with the boards where all of a sudden I wind up in like big time pressure and, incredibly big time pressure. Okay, g5 from Muhit. Good move, and now I'm going to see if I can harass him some. Rook c8, bishop takes c8, Trivial Pursuit. I think I have a nice winning position there. Pearl Hacker has gone queen h6. Tricky move, trying for some pins. Now, I could trade everybody, but somehow queen to c3 seems like it might be the right move. Okay, bishop f8 for more than a game. And now is he after my pawns here? I think. Let's see what to do here. Interesting business. He's made this into a hard game for me. So some kind of pawn takes pawn, and my rook on e4 got messed up. That's the problem. So how do I unmess up my rook here? I guess pawn. Well, I mean pawn takes. Rook to. I'm all right. I'm gonna go king to f. Try to activate my king a little bit. Biscuits did queen to d6, and looks like a good move. What's he up to? Some queen c6 ideas maybe. I'm gonna go queen to d3. a5 from Mr. Neal, trying to get his rook into the game. Looks pretty good. I'm thinking about some queen checks. I think I'll go bishop to c2 and get my bishop out of the way and start to see if I can harass him on the other side. Sembeck is playing pretty solidly. Traded rooks. Maybe playing on all sides of the board was not the right thing to do there. Rook to b5 from Jester. I'm going to try to take both open files. Muhit's kings coming over to the queen side makes a lot of sense. Knight e6 Rabbi's child. Patching it up. And just gain more space. That's what I've been doing for a long time, just tying them up. More than the game is after my pawn, and it looks like he's probably going to get it, and I have to see what sort of position do I get after that. All right, I'm going to go pawn takes g5, get my rook in from the side. Muhit, very good move. Rook to f6, and I'm going to go rook to e7 and just bother him, but I think that's one game that I'm in trouble in. Let's see, f5 from chess 24 cements his bishop in there. All right. Now, I guess I'll go bishop takes e4, and then maybe some exchange sack is going to happen. Let's see. Back to the game with Trivial Pursuit. Time pressure is happening all over the place. So I've been going for about an hour and a half. Let's see. Knight c7 from Trivial Pursuit. Queen b7 looks like a good move. Attacking a lot of different stuff. Okay, g3 against chess 24. I might be sacking something there. Now, I can't go h4 against Muhit. The game against Muhit, I think, is probably pretty hopeless, actually. King's cut off. I'll try to play a little bit and see. You never know with rook endings. Pawn c5 from Abba's child. Bishop takes knight. Looks right now. Rook to a3 from Mr. Neal. Harassing me a little bit from that side. Now what do? I protect my rook. Let's go bishop to d4. Yeah, Muhit is pushing pawns up. That's the right thing to do. And I'm just going to hang out. And I think that's the only game. I think I'm pretty resignable there. Abbas, let's see. Zebile has gone knight e4. I'm going to go queen a3 check. Knight takes knight from Trivial Pursuit. Let's see. So let's see. What was that? Queen I just did. And he played knight takes b5. And now bishop takes knight would appear to attack a lot of stuff. And bishop takes d4 for more than a game. And now let's see. So what is this one is not so easy. Bishop pawn to b6. I don't know what that does. I'm looking at rook to f4 ideas. Uh, take. It's funny. I mean, he could all of a sudden my pawns don't look so hot. So rook f6. I'm thinking about. All right, I'm gonna go rook f4. Well, he's getting a lot of checks. The files are open. Incredible. I mean, they got a lot of counterplay here. So how do I want to? I'm not clear how I want to do this. Rook f4 takes d4, checks. All right, I'm going to try rook to f4, see if I can get in there. Queen takes e6, recapture from Abbas child. Pawn takes c5, looks right for me. I think Muhit. I'm gonna resign. Good game there. He won a pawn. Very nice game. Let's see now what's happening here. Rook a7 from chess 24. Wow. Now his idea is to get some g3 thing going, and I'm trying to get. If my queen could get into his position, I'd be very happy. So let's see if I go pawn takes and he goes, but then his queen's coming in too. So I got to be extra careful of that also. So what's a solid move here for me? I'm gonna try king to h1 and get out of the way of checks. Now, what's going on here with the tired dad? Knight takes d5, knight takes d5, rook takes d5. I think that his position is probably okay there. A lot of stuff just got traded. Knight g4 from biscuits. I guess I'll offer him a trade of queens with queen to g3. Zebile, I'm going to trade off all the rooks. And maybe that's going to be a draw. Rook c1 from h4, h5. I'll go rook c1 and defend. Chess 24 has just played rook g7. Good move. And now I got to see, what am I trying to do here? It would be nice if I could push my pawns up, e4, e5. His knight comes into f3. And then I guess I could maybe sack it. So do I want to go queen e2 is what I'm wondering. And if I go queen e2, he might have knight f5. I think I have to try e4. Okay, Jester has gone bishop to e5, attacking my rook. And I'm going to go rook to e7. Looks okay. Zebile, all the rooks got traded. Queen a5 from a4, h5. And now I got to see what's going on here. Lots of pins, huh? So can I go? All right, I'm looking at some tricky pin stuff here. A3. A3, I don't know. Let's see. If I go A3, I'm going to try A3. He takes it, and I get some B4 stuff, maybe. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to just make a move there. I'm getting in a bad time pressure. Bishop takes D4 for more than a game. And I was thinking of going rook to F6 there. And he takes on C7. Takes. All right, I'm going to try to see F6. Not so sure about this. Okay, Zebile. Now, what do I do here? I'm just going to go bishop to D3. I think it's probably a draw. Pro Hacker's going queen to G6. And I'm going to go pawn to D5. Queen A2 from Abbas Child. As I just go king to G1. And rook E8 from Mr. Neal. And I don't know. I don't know if I overplayed my hand here against Mr. Neal. He's still bottled up. So this is the question, but how do I do something? Trying to create some sacks. I mean, opening them up with G4 just doesn't feel right at all. So, I mean, I might have overdone it in this one. Okay, I'm going to go knight to E4. Time pressure in all of them. Knight F3 from chess 24. And now I'm looking at ideas like I mean, exchange sack ideas. Queen e2. Well, I don't know. If I just got rid of him with knight to d2, how bad would that be? That's a good question. The trouble with the exchange sacks are the G file opens, so that might be not so exciting for me to have the G file open. What about if I go e5? I'm going to try e5. Okay, King h7 from Abba's child. And I guess I go queen takes b7. Okay, e5 from Mr. Neal. Now, was that the right thing for him to do to open it up? I mean, his queen comes into the defense, but I mean, my rook could get active. All right, I take on e5. Okay, rook on e to e7 from Jester. If I go rook to the 7th, is Jester going to have some rook to the 8th stuff going? All right, so I guess I'm going to go g4. Okay, queen a1 check from Abba's child. And I go king g2. Okay, knight e6 from back rank brawler. Oh, that looks like a good move. All right, now I got to see what's going on here. Is he getting some stuff going here? Is a good question. All right, I'm looking at tricky stuff. Knight h5s. Interesting. Knight h5 maybe. All right. What the? Okay. I think Tired Dad's doing okay. Might just dissolve into like a completely equal position. All right. Now, at what point do I start trading stuff against Pro Hacker? Because I can make past pawns. I think I'm going to trade now. Okay, queen f6. And now, why can't I just push my pawn with c6 against Abba's child and make a queen, and that should do it, I think. Whew. More than a game. Rough games here. Rough games. Okay, now, I think I'm going to try to trade everybody and then go queen e5 and see what happens. All right, pawn takes e5 from chess 24. And I'm going to go queen f5 and see if I can make his knight go backwards. Okay, just bishop takes now. I guess I go bishop to b2 and get rid of Neal's rook. Okay, against Pro Hacker, rook takes looks good, followed by queen e5. Rook takes c4, rook c4 from more than a game. And I think I'm just going to go king to e4. I think if we get into a race, my people are faster than his. Okay, Trivial Pursuit has gone h6. And now, after h6, what's happening? So that was bishop takes knight, and then let's see, and then bishop c7, queen c6. So let's see. So he's trying to open me up here, but I'm taking his stuff, so I got to be a little careful. So what's happening here? If I go queen takes knight. All right, hold on. Let me look at this. Queen a8 check and take his rook. What's happening with that? Any threats? He gets my bishop. So where will his king be, though? Okay, I'm going to go queen to a8 and take. Okay, knight f4 from chess 24. Wow. Okay, so now if I take, does he have queen h4? This one is getting messy. He might have takes and queen h4. So let's see. Take on f3 first, and then take on f4. Let's see. All right, I'm going to take on. I'm going to take on f3. I'm not sure that I'm happy here. Okay, let's see. So now, what's going on with Jester? b6. I'll go king g2. Queen takes d7 from Trivial Pursuit. I guess I'll take on g7. Let's see. Attacks my bishop. Biscuits is attacking my bishop on c4. And he's got some tricky stuff going here. So if I go bishop to d5, looks solid, but I think he's got some tricky stuff. Okay, we got rid of Mr. Neal. I don't think he should have played e5. It's looking, it looks like opening it up might have helped me more. Okay, bishop to b3 check looks good. Rook takes a4, rook takes e7 for more than a game. This game with Zembek is really getting. I'm going to try g4. Okay, back rank brawler has gone queen to d8. I got a lot of stuff hanging. So I can go, if I go bishop takes c5 or something like that. Rook takes, he might get some rook e7 thing going. Okay, bishop takes e5, knight takes e5. If I go knight to f6, make some trade, his bishop's attack. All right, that looks decent for me. Okay, knight f6. Rook c7 from Jester. And now let's see, what should I do? Let me give him a check on d8. Still think this is pretty drawish. Queen e8 from Tired Dad. And what do I do here? I think I have to trade people. I'm going to trade on e7. Queen e5 from Pearl Hacker. You went king to f8. Okay. And now I'm looking to see when can I go d6 or something. Maybe I should have built up the pressure on this one a little more. I might have released it too quickly because his king can come to d6. Okay, king h2. Chess 24. Pawn takes f4. Rook h3 from more than a game. He's going to have pass pawns all over the place, but I got pass pawns in the center. So let's see. Do I want to take? Do I want to push? Just keep on pushing. d5, d6. I guess I'd probably let me see if I could take his b7 pawn first. He's got pawns on both sides. Okay, now Jester. Let's see. I don't know about if rook takes e5 does anything. No, it doesn't, because it loses. It doesn't do anything at all. So I'm going to go rook takes. I think this one probably should be a draw. King g6 from Mr. Neal. And now I got to see, there's some nice diagonal business going. I'm thinking about queen to d3 with discoveries. Nothing wrong with rook to f1 either, right? What is rook to f1 threaten? Okay, queen to d3. I'm going to try. Okay, pass pawns from more than a game. Rook takes. That's a confusing position. Push 4 from chess 24. And we got to see what's going on here now. What's his? Does he have some threat like queen to? Is queen to f2 a threat? Maybe I have to go rook to g1, but rook to g1 doesn't look good. Huh. Knight takes e5. Knight takes e5. I'll try. f6 from Pearl Hacker. Yeah, I think I might have misplayed this one a little bit. I cannot take on e7. I have to go queen to d4. And I think he's just okay there. Okay, Dad, Tired Dad's hanging in there. Looks like I got to go rook e7. That one, I don't know even if I'm there. Zebile. Now, if I go knight e5, what happens there? Knight e5, he takes, I take. trying to get the b6 pawn. Queen f7 from g takes h6 from Trivial Pursuit. I'm up the exchange there. My king is a little open, but I think that my queen can come back and defend. So I should be okay there. Queen takes h6. Okay, now more than these pawns all over the place. Let's see. Do I want to let me go rook to g7 check first, so my rook can get behind. Okay, bishop takes d5, knight takes d5, biscuits. Bishop back to e7 from a4, h5. I don't know if I bluffed him. I don't know if he could have taken on c3 maybe. I'm not sure. So I'm going to go pawn to b4. And now, more than a game, we got pass pawns all over the place. I'm going to go rook to h there, stay behind some of the pass pawns. Jester probably should be a draw, but let me see. I have some slight pressure. Queen trade from Pearl Hacker. Okay, queen trade and then d6. Can I do that? Queen a trade and d6. I don't know. Okay, queen f4 from Trivial Pursuit. My king is nearby, so I should be safe here, but my king is still a little open, but I think I should be fine. Okay, so I'm thinking about d6 against Pearl Hacker. I don't know, d6, and it seems like it's overdone, but can't let his king get to d6. Okay, rook b5 from Jester. Let me see. I'll bring my king up. I think it's a draw. A4, h5. I don't know. I'm thinking of offering queen trade out there with something. Queen a4 maybe. Okay. Chess 24. Queen to h2. Yes. And I must go queen to f3. Queen to h3. Is that right? He's threatening g2. I have no choice there. Okay. Very confusing. Pass pawns all over the place. Very messy games. Okay. Trivial Pursuit. Now, against Trivial Pursuit, can I just go bishop to f4? It would be nice to get rid of that bishop. Queen f5 from Mr. Neal, and I go to f1. Rook takes Tired Dad. If Tired Dad wants a draw, I shall take it. Rook takes e7. I think I'm slightly worse than the rook ending. I think Tired Dad took the draw. Okay, Pearl Hacker. I don't know what's going on in that game. I released attention a little too fast. And that game might be a draw now also. Biscuits is winning a pawn, but I think I'm okay. Trading queens up a pawn. Let's see now. Jester's starting to get himself a little bit tied up in this rook ending. King f4. Okay, and now, Mr. Neal, what is happening? I discovered, if I do a discovered check, he has pawn to e4. Is that right? Is that right? I think it is right. So let's see. But it's trickier than that because he has his rook takes f5 stuff going. Knight to g3. Wow, this is a mess. Pawn to h3. Where does his queen go? Let me do simple pawn to h3. G2. Okay, more than a game is making a queen with checks. I better go rook behind and check him. Queen e4 from Trivial Pursuit. And I guess, can I just go e3 and protect my bishop? That's what I intended. And now, let's see, a4, h5. I'm going to try and get my pieces in there. I'm up a pawn. King g5 for more than a game. So can I just, can I just take h2? and make this easier. That game got messier than it was supposed to. I'm telling you. Okay, biscuits is up a pawn, but can I draw? Gonna try to trade stuff off. Okay, queen takes b2 from chess 24. That's annoying because it's gonna forking some pieces. Now let's see. What do I do? He's gonna get my knight, I think. So do I have to go rook to f1? No, if I go rook to f1, he has queen g2 check. Nice one. So I think I have to go rook to g1 as much as I don't want to. And that game is gotten rough there. Can I trade off all the pieces? Let's trade off some rooks against a4, h5, be up material. Uh-oh. Back rank brawler. Did he trap my queen? Yep, I think he did. Very good move there, and I think that's another one I overlooked. And a lot of stuff hanging. Very tricky, good defense there. No point in going queen g8. Good game, back rank brawler. Zebon will just take on e5, so I'm going to trade rooks against a4, h5, just try and win with the pawns. Rook takes e5 from d5 for more than a game. Can I push my pawns? I'm going to go e7 and then get my king in there, and I think I have a winning game. Now, Mr. Neal. Oy. Can I go bishop to c2? Bishop c2 and threaten discovered checks all over the place. Thing is, when the discovered checks happens, he's blocking, right? So he's blocking with pawn to e4. So that's a good question. Now I'm looking at all kinds of possibilities. I think bishop c2 looks okay. Okay, more than a game is rook's coming back, but I'm bringing my king up, supported by my pawn. Zabile's gone. Knight c4, and now I'm looking at bishop takes. I don't think I could do it, though, right? Bishop takes, pawn takes, knight takes b6. He has c3, right? So now he's threatening my e5 pawn also. So can I go f4? All right, now, how do I get my pawns going against a4, h5? That's a good question. Really would like to get those pawns rolling. Okay, queen e4, queen takes f4 from Trivial Pursuit. King g6 from More Than a Game, and now I guess I go. Do I go? This one's not over yet because is he annoying me with checks? That's a good question. All right, I'm gonna push my pawns up. Okay, bishop d7 from Zebile. Bishop takes knight. Pawn takes. King, both kings are coming up. All right, no, trade of queens from Trivial Pursuit. Why? Thought he was doing okay there. Okay, now my pawns my pawns are definitely bothering more than a game. It's gotta be good to go d6. Okay, now let's see. Bishop, we got knight to a4 there. I would like to trade some pieces against a4, h5 and make it a little easier with the two pass pawns. Okay, well, if I just go knight c3, or his piece locked out. Okay, rook b5 check for more than a game. And I think my pawns are pretty strong, so I think my rook's joining the party out there. G takes f5 from Sembeck, and I guess I'll go E takes f5, give myself a square. Queen takes c3 from chess 24. And now what's happening? Rook takes g7 and queen d6. I don't know queen d7. I don't know if there's any like perpetual check type of stuff here. Don't think so. If I go d6, All right, I'm going to try d6. I think I'm lost in this one too. Looks like Pearl Hacker is threatening bishop takes a2, so I have to go a3. I've really sort of come apart in some of these games. Not good. Not good. I mean, I know it's a long simul, but still, gotta be ready for long games in the simul's. Okay, let's see. Back to Biscuits. Biscuits went rook to d8. All I want to do there is trade some pawns. Rook to d1. Okay, now a4, a5 against Jester. Does rook to d4 win a pawn? More checks are more than a game. I guess I'm going to just come up with my king again. Pawn takes. Pearl Hacker. Pro attention too soon. And now, I don't know. I mean, he might be able to win a pawn. I might be on the hard side of a draw. Okay, now, more than a game. Does rook to h8 win? Oh, okay, Sandro. Okay, so Jester offers me a draw, but I just won a pawn for nothing, right? Rook takes b5. I takes e4. Zebile, I don't want to let his king in, that's for sure. So I think I just go king to f2. I think my pawns are doing a good job of locking him out. Okay, now the thing against Pro Hacker is, can I make a draw here? Just tie him up, maybe. I don't know. He's gonna win my Let's see. Unless I could get all fancy with c7 here. c7, he just goes king d7, and what did that accomplish? I could keep. I guess I just have to go king to e3 and king d4 and try and draw like that. All right, Evan. Knight to d2 for against a4 h5. Try and trade some pieces. Make my pass pawns better. Rook f8 wins the pawn. Wins more than a game's rook. Knight e5 from trying to bother me with knight d3. Definitely annoying, and I'll go bishop to f5 and keep the pieces off the face. So now, what's happening here? I'm up a pawn against Jester, a little bit of time pressure. Let's see, I'm thinking about rook to c4. He's threatening. Yeah, rook to c4 because I got to keep his rook out of the second rank. Now, Sembeck has gone bishop to f5, and I guess I'll go knight to e4 and hit his d6 pawn. Pawn takes pawn. Possible drawing chances down a pawn. Now I got to see, can I make a draw against Pearl Hacker after I clearly messed up a winning position? I'm not sure what my idea to draw is. I guess if he takes my pawn, maybe I go bishop f1 and just hang out. That would seem to be the most normal thing to do. All right, knight c. Now, what is going on here? I'm just going to take my time here against a4 h5, go bishop to e2. He's in time pressure. I'm in time pressure. It's always good to have those two connected pass pawns over there. Knight to b6. Where's he coming to with that knight? Can I go f4? Okay, rook b5 from Jester. And I feel like, all right, now I boxed him out of the second rank. I thought g5 was a good move for a second. It's not. So do I have to back my king up to do something here? King to e4 maybe. All right, I'm going to go king to g3 and then start to push my pawns up. That seems to be the right thing to do. Okay, Sembeck has gone knight e8, so I got to tie it a little bit. I'm going to go queen to b1 just to take the only open file. Pearl Hacker, I'm trying to draw all of a sudden. Let's see. A4 h5. I'm still up. I still have my material, but not so easy. But two connected pass pawns. Trivial Pursuit, I think it must be an easy win for me. I'm just going to hassle his pawns with my rook. As long as I don't go rook takes g6 and lose my rook. Okay, on to d4 from a4 h5. I guess, let's see. Now, yeah, I guess I should take that. Okay. Trivial Pursuit's getting a little tricky now. I think I'll just go king back to f1 and threaten to take that pawn. I don't think king position matters that much to me here. Okay, now what's happening? Queen d2 from chess 24. Guess I'll push d7. I don't know. I mean, I think I'm lost there, but I'm trying to fight. Now I'm looking what to do here against Sembek. Looks like something like knight to g3. Maybe I can push my king side up. Knight h4 from Trivial Pursuit, protecting his pawn. And I'll go king to e2. I think sooner or later, I must be able to get him there. All right, now let's see what happens here. I would really like to trade some pieces against a4 h5. Okay, knight g5 from Biscuits. And now, hold on, no, he just moved. I'm sorry, it was his move. And now I got to see knight c7. I'm just trying to make a draw here. I could trade everybody off, I suppose. Knight f4, knight c7. Okay, I'm going to try knight c7. I think I can draw, but we'll see. Rook e5 from Jester, and I'm going to go rook to c6. So rook ending. Pawn takes e5 from chess 24. Is that a winning move? What's happening here? Okay, I'm going to go pawn takes e5. What a mess. a5 from Pearl Hacker, and I think I can draw here just by moving around. Bishop to d3 and whatnot. Okay, push my. Now I have to see a4. Will a4 bother me? No, I think I start pushing f4. Zebile, I'm still happy. Can I bring my king up to e4? He just played bishop to g6. What's he up to here? All right, I'm going to go king to e4 and try and take that pawn on c4. Queen d5 from chess 24. And now he's threatening a rather nasty check. And let me see, how do I stop this nasty check? A nasty check might be hard to stop. I can make a queen, and that would stop it. Maybe I have to do that. Rook takes first, and then make a queen. Let's try that. Still some chances there. Okay, knight to h7 from, and now is pawn to g5 good. That's in the game with Sembek. Okay, now, rook to, I think rook to b6, keeping an eye on things, should be right against Trivial Pursuit. g5 has occurred here against a4 h5, and I'm looking to see, can I just go knight to e4 and have him trade stuff? Okay. Now, what's my deal here against chess 24? Okay, I make a queen, and then I take on f3. Now, that was him up a pawn. His king's a little open, so I have some chances, but I think I have to do it. Okay, and now against Trivial Pursuit, I just want to try and win some pawns here. Rook to b4 from Jester, and I'm going to go rook c4 again to keep him from going a4. Bishop takes pawn from a4 h4. And now what's happening here with Mr. Neal? Mr. Neal just offered me a trade of rooks, and I keep looking at my discovered checks, and my discovered checks keep getting met by other stuff. So this is a real situation here. I think that I have to move my rook now. Where should I move my rook, though? Incredible. If I go knight check, I don't know. If he takes rooks, queen checks, knight have discovered checks. Where's all right? I don't know. It's a strange looking move, but I'm going to go king to h2. Okay, now what's happening with Pearl Hacker? I'm just going to move back and forth and see what he could do. Okay, now King G8 from Sembeck. Now, it's a very tempting thing to go F6 and bury his bishop, isn't it? Probably must be correct. Okay, Rook B5 against Chester, still hanging in there. Knight C7, rook takes rook from Biscuits. Pawn takes E5, be correct against Zebile, boxes king out. G5 he played. Now I could go pawn to E4. I just want to make sure that his king doesn't get in there. And then when I take, yep, I think king to E4 looks good. Okay, queen to D4 from chess 24. He just is after my pawns. I'm trying to see if I can make perpetual checks. So if I snatch A6, can I do that? I'm going to try to snatch A6 and see if I can make a draw there. Okay, so let's see. So Trivial Pursuit, we have rook to there. Now I can make it. Now what's my best move here? My king. I would really like to somehow A3 to win that pawn. On A4 must be right. Zebile, king D4. And now we have Biscuits. I think that I'm thinking I might be able to make a draw here. He's attacking my B8 pawn. So I'm going to try rook to D5. Okay, bishop to F5 from Pearl Hacker. And I'm going to go bishop to F3. Okay, Sembeck is very tied up. And so the only thing I got to be careful is of his queen getting in there. So I'm thinking about bishop to D3. H5 from Jester, and I guess I should go G5. Okay, Zebile has played bishop D3, and I'm going to try knight A4. Knight D5 from A4, H5. Trade knights, keep all my stuff, okay? Attacking my pawn on G2 from Zebile, I just go G3. Knight takes E6 from Biscuits, and I think I can draw that. And now Sembeck is completely tied up. But what's my winning idea? Maybe I'm looking at knight F5s. All right, I'm going to try knight to F5. Rook D5 from Jester. Jester's trying to get into the second rank again. And I go, let's see, if I go rook to C6 just to bother him. Pawn takes, Biscuits took, and I think I can make a draw in this rook ending after rook D7. All right, knight C3 against A4, H5. I'm really nursing this pawn. Let's see. I'm just going to go bishop to E2. Just move my bishop back and forth and see if I can make a draw. Now, what's happening here with chess 24? Is chess 24 trying to mate me? Now, if I go queen takes A6, he gets some diagonal stuff going with queen to D5. So maybe I'm better off here just going some checks. So queen to G2 check. Okay, Zebile, if I take B6, he has pawn to C3. So, and then what? King takes C3, knight takes, and I don't know about that. I might just be a bit better off doing nothing here. Like maybe I'm better off just going knight to C3 and keeping everything. So that might be the right thing to do. I think I'm just going to go knight c3 and try to make his bishop into a bad piece. So rook c6 against Jester, and now, all right, it's all very nice, but now when am I going to do something? Can I bring my king over? Okay, queen d, king h8 from chess 24, and I guess I'll try queen to a8 again. Very happy if I get a draw there. Queen f4 check, queen takes. I don't know if Mr. Neal blundered there. Okay, and Jester's king's coming over. Both our kings are coming over. All right, now what's happening here with Mr. Neal? I have knight f3, knight f6 check. Did he overlook that? I think Mr. Neal might have been so happy to trade the queens that he forgot about something. All right, now, let's see. I want to keep Sembek's queen from bothering me. And what is my winning plan? It's a good question. All right, I'm going to go knight to e4. We got rook to c4 again from Jester. We've been through this before. a4, h5, bishop to b7, and I'm going to, let's see, but if I offer him a trade, what's happening? Maybe, let's see, at some point all right, I'm going to offer him a trade with bishop to e4. Okay, and now Zebal has gone bishop to d3, and now I got to see, can I hassle him here? Knight e4. I don't even know if that's a win if I go bishop takes e4. So that's a question. And also my pawn, I got to be careful about my pawn on a4. So knight e4 might just be a draw, but I don't know if I have anything more than that. If my knight wanders somewhere, I mean, like if I go, well, knight to c1 here, I don't know. Knight d1, king and pawn ending is probably a draw. So I don't know. I'm gonna just try knight e4, and perhaps it's just a draw. Okay, let's see. Hold on. Rook to d7 against Biscuits. Biscuits is still thinking. And now let's see. I guess I'll go rook to b6. Looks like the right thing to do. Fork the pawns. Mr. Neal, I'll take on e8 and then take on g7. Queen f2 from chess 24. Threatening. Is he threatening anything though? Can I go? Let's see. He has some checks. Can I go e6? I don't know. I'm doing it, so we'll see when we get to it. All right, now what's happening against Jester? I've boxed his rook out again, and when's it time for me to start pushing? All right, I'll push e4. Jester offered me a draw, but I think I have to play. I mean, we've been through this kind of thing in this deal before where people shouldn't offer draws if maybe they're losing. All right, now what's the simplest way for me to win here against Mr. Neal? Can I just transpose into a winning ending with, say, bishop takes knight and then some, let's see. Why would I don't know. Do I want to take that knight? The knight's not really bothering me. All right, I'm going to go h4. And now knight g6 from Sembek. All right, well, bishop takes knight has got to be the right move. Okay, let's see what's happening here against a4, h5. I move my knight to where? Knight to c5 is possible, and then but I want to be able to push my pawns. Probably knight to c3. Okay, Sembek now. I'm looking at stuff like knight takes c5, and he takes it, and I go queen takes g6. But how do I get in there? It's a good question. I think I got to just take it easy here. Suppose I go king to h. No, his queen could get in. Knight takes c5 and queen takes. Then he has to go king to g8. What's going on there? Not so easy. Not so easy, huh? So what to do here? Queen somewhere. Queen, let's say bishop to f2. Queen. I just want to make sure his queen doesn't get into my position here. That's the whole thing. Knight to g3 might be the best move. Queen check, bishop g1 from chess 24. Zebile, I think I'm just gonna go g4 and lock it, and then it's got to be a draw. I think he might have offered me a draw. Pro hacker, if he wants to offer me a draw, I shall take it. Let's see. Now we got a bishop attacking my knight in a4 h5. If I could trade pair of knights here, it would make my life much easier. So I'm going to go knight to b5 and see if I can get these pawns going one of these days. Okay, now what's happening against, let's see, let's just go bishop to e4 against Mr. Neal. King and pawn ending. Yep, if Zebal wants a draw, it was just a draw there. Some tough games today, and there were a couple of games where I just sort of fell apart. You know, and that's not a good thing when form. Okay, what's happening here with now a4 h5 has pawns to push also. I'm going to go knight to d6, see if I can block them. Now against the way to draw this is just to do nothing. Let's see if I don't know if chess 24 wants a draw, I will certainly take it. I'm offering him a draw back. And I don't know when he offered to draw. I'm sorry, so I'm just going to go queen G. Yep, just queen G B7 and offer a draw. So if he wants a draw, he has it. Let's see. Biscuits is up a pawn. I'm just going to keep my rook on the 7th. Let's see. Mr. Neal, I'm going to take a pawn with check on c6. That looks pretty strong for me. Let's see. No draw offer, I guess, from chess 24. So let's see. He offered me a draw before, but then changed his mind. So let's see what to do here now. Queen takes b6. Queen f3. E7. But can he win? What can he do then? Can he? Where are his checks? Queen f1 check. Queen f1 check, and then bishop check, bishop h2, and then so. All right, I think I'm going to go e7, and we'll see what's going on there. Okay. Now Sembeck. I think I boxed his king out. I go king to g2. Looks okay. f4 from a4 h5, and I'm going to go knight e4. And soon I'm hoping to get my pawns pushing. Okay, h5 from Biscuits. I just hang out. Biscuits goes g5. I'm just hanging out. Okay, now we got to see here. I guess, all right, so now my pawns are solid. I've blocked his, and now I'm going to try to bring my king over, and I think it should be winning with my two connected pass pawns. And that's against a4, h5. Bishop takes pawn from Sembeck. Sembeck sacked the piece. I got to take that, and I think that, well, I mean, he doesn't have any pass pawns, so it should look pretty nice for me. Queen to f1, pinning him looks like the right thing to do. Maybe just threatening to win with bishop to g5 and stuff like that. King G6 from Mr. Neal, and I think I should take another pawn, or should I do? I have a lot of passed pawns now. Okay, I'm going to take another pawn with bishop to b5. And Mr. Neal, very confusing game. I'm not sure if my exchange sack was correct. And I noticed you offered me a draw, but I didn't see it. But I have to admit, I don't think I would have taken it anyway. I'm sorry. I have to. And these simul's are fun, but I got to try to beat people. If I make too many draws, then then it doesn't look so hot. Okay, 7 back. Can I go? I was thinking I could go bishop h6 takes and queen takes. All right, now a4 h5, king f7, bishop to b2 looks nice. Queen takes f6 against Sembek. Okay, now against biscuits, I guess rook c5 check looks right, and I'm just going to hang out. And we got to see if he can make any progress. Now, do I want to go down and bother him? I think I'm going to go to the 8th and hassle him down there. Queen d7 from Sembek. Okay, yep. Now hold on. Let's see here. That stops my checks. I have other checks. Queen f8, running them around. I gotta see what's the best way to do this. Queen h. Well, still not so easy, huh? All right, I'm gonna try queen to f8. Okay, now against a4 h5. Is it finally? I've been dying to push my pawns. Finally, b5. Let's get them going. Okay, rook to c7 for b2 for biscuits, and I guess I'll just go. I could now. Do I want to check him and bother his pawns? All right, I'm going to try that. It's not going to hurt me too much. I'm just afraid of e3 stuff. f3 from Mr. Neal. I'll just go pawn takes f3. I'm pretty safe there. I don't think I'm going to get mated. Knight c4 from a4 h5, and I guess I'll go a4. Looks good. King to h7 from Sembek. And now I just want to keep his queen from coming into the position. I'm just going to go queen f3 and play it safe. Okay, now, how do I bother Mr. Neal? Bishop to d3. King e6 from a4 h5. I'm going to go bishop c3 and try and unblockade him. King h7 from Sembek. I'm going to go knight e4. Threaten queen f6 check. So I hope everybody enjoy. I'm looking forward to tomorrow, watching those games and seeing what happens. Should be pretty good tomorrow. Let's see. Biscuits has gone king to g4, and I guess I'll just go rook to e8. And now, Mr. Neal, can I push my... Let me exchange bishops and just push my pawns. Queen check, bishop h2. And now, let's see, how do I get in here against Sembek? I want to make sure that his queen doesn't get into the position, because then it will check me a million times, and that won't be so easy. Queen f1, chess 22, and I took the draw. A tough game from chess 24, as usual. Very tough game. Push my pawn against Mr. Neal, and I think I'm making some queens. I'm not sure what my score is today, but I had a couple of games. I got my queen trapped in one of them, and I'm probably in the middle of a winning attack. c7. And that should about do it for that one. Okay, Biscuits is going behind the pawn. And I'm looking here. I think I'm going to... Can I go king to f1? And I'm happy to repeat the position, of course. Okay, knight c5. Let's see. Knight c5 check let's see. Knight c5 check gives him that. I don't know. Let's see here. How to do this. I could win another pawn against a4 h5, but I don't know if that's the right thing to do. His king's coming up. Okay, I think g4 might be the right move for me. Box his king out. Okay, queen g4. And now, can I go queen to g5 against Sembeck? He went a5. I don't think there's anything doing on that side. So I'm going to go queen to g5. Bishop b6 from a4 h5. Now, I mean, I'm tempted here to take another pawn on the other side. Can I do that? Really didn't want to unblockade. I don't know. I mean, is e4 pawn bothering me? But with all those pawns, I think I should be winning. Should I take his knight first? Knight g5. Okay, I'm going to go knight g5 first. So thanks everybody for playing. Simul's winding down. King d5 from a4 h5. And now do I want to take his knight? Takes. All right, I'm going to take his knight. And see, it's going to have pass pawns running on both sides. Sembeck might have made a mistake. I don't know that he should have traded queens because my knight just parks itself on e4. And then I could take his g-pawn, I think. Okay, rook to e1 from biscuits, and now I have f3 check if I want it, and then maybe I could check him a lot after that. I just wonder if it's better to do nothing. All right, I don't know, f3 and start harassing his pawns. That must be right. Okay, let me take on h7. Okay, let me just check him a lot. Okay, I guess I just keep on checking biscuits. All right, now what did biscuits do? Is this is is that a g5 pawn? I don't understand. I mean, I'm not a mean person, but if the right position shows up, I'll try to win. But I think it should still be a draw. But I don't understand that one at all. He probably should have just made a normal move and offered a draw. I think it was going to be an easy draw there. I think I was just going to harass his pawns. If his king goes to h6, I thought rook e8 was a good way to do it, threatening king f2. I thought that was going to be the right way. Now, the question is here, am I trying to win? And it's a big question. Okay, king e5 from a4 h5. Now, okay. So if I go g5 and I take the e pawn, that should be win. I don't even know that I need the pawn. So where's a good place for my knight to be? All right, I'm going to try knight to f8. Knight to d7. And then push my b pawn. And I have the a pawn after. I think that should do it, right? That was a hard game, though. That was some game. That was a hard game. I don't think his king's too far away from my A pawn. I think so. That's okay. Actually, maybe just pushing with A5 is good. A5, King E6. Yep. Okay, now. Oh, mouse slip from Biscuit. Sorry. Yeah, we all know the feeling. So I know if I was trying to win here, I would probably go F4, but it's a mouse slip, so I think I'm gonna F4 would be a winning try for me. I think if I could get the two connected past pawns. So, but I think I'm just gonna take this and offer him a draw because of the mouse slip. So the score is here. There were a couple. I didn't like the one game in the exchange variation. I forgot who it was against, but I'll do a quick review here. Pawn takes, and I'm just gonna go rook takes, and I mean, sorry about the mouse slip, but I think it was an easy draw anyway. If I was trying to win, I would biscuits. If I was trying to win, I'd go F4 there, and then I think, and then you got to be very careful not to give me two connected pass pawns. You might have to sacrifice with H4 to break them up, and then you still have your E pawn. So I think probably that would be a draw. Okay, what's happening here with A4, A5? I'm making queens, and I'm getting A7 and A8, and there's nothing you can do about that. So I don't know what's going on, and I don't know are there any other games that I should look at here. Let's see. So some extremely tough positions. There are some games I'm surprised that they're over because let me check because that's a little weird. I thought there was some games, some positions like the Queen's Indians and whatnot that were going to go on for quite a while. So it was a good, it was a good, as usual, was a good simul. And thanks everybody for playing, and I'll see you at some point. The only bad is we have to move, and thank you very much, A4H5, and your pawn sack in the opening. I don't know. You got pretty good play, but then the trouble with pawn sacks, as we see, is that sometimes it is fade. Yeah, 94 check after in the game with Sembek. That's just gonna win easy. Uh, Sembek had to watch his opening. He found himself into a bad position. Really, I think his mistake was E5. That was the big mistake. Let's see. Mr. Neal needs to play better openings. He just got into a bad opening, but then it got crazy after that. Chess 24 was a game where I was very happy to make a draw. King's Indian, very messy, short position. Even at the end, I don't know what was going on. Let's see, Pearl Hacker. I think I was winning pretty easily, and then it was another game where I was happy to draw in a bishop ending. Um, I don't know what happened here to Jester. I mean, Jester may have resigned, but I'm up a pawn in a rook ending. I think it's a win, but it's not so easy. His rook endings are always the best thing to go into. Trivial Pursuit, just bad opening. Put his bishop on G4, and in the Slavs, when the bishop comes out early, Black has to really be careful. Um, let's see. Game adjourned when Black was disconnected. Biscuits. I'm down a pawn and another rook ending. No, we played that one, and that was also a draw. That was the one that just ended. Uh, let's see. More than a game. That was he got into a very very bad position in the. He should just play knight takes e5 in an Alban counter gambit. Take the pawn back, and it's not so bad. The back rank brawler played some tricky stuff, and I think I probably, if I look at it, I have some sort of winning attack, but got extremely confused, and rook e7 trapped my queen, ending that one suddenly. Tired dad. It was going to be a drawn rook ending. Good opening from Tartakover, and Muhit just won a pawn very easily in the opening, and queen side played very well, and Kwon Pin got into a passive position. If you look at the final position, his knight is trapped, knight e7 win, and his position was pretty equal, but he got himself into some jam. Cookies and cream, another suspicious opening, some sort of Dutch and very anti-positional, and that's what happened to him. Uh, let's see, we're back to that, and I think that's about it for today. So let's see. Usually they give me my score in the simul, and am I done? Simulbot says I finished. 11 wins, 2 losses. Not so bad. 2 losses is okay. So thank you everybody. Yep, thanks guys, and I shall see you in April. Enjoy all the 2 more rounds for the candidates. Should be a lot of fun. And go Fabiano. All right, take care, everybody. Thanks to Sandro, and thanks to everybody. What? Oh, and happy Easter to all of the Christian friends out there. Um, I remember when I was an altar boy, it was a big deal. Anyway, take care to everybody. Happy Easter, happy chess, and have a good one. And I'll see you down the road next month, some point after we move, maybe. All right, bye bye. Take care. Thank everybody.